In 1980, one word sent dogs fleeing in terror, and one woman sent dog owners diving for cover. The word? Sit. The woman? Barbara Woodhouse.
Well, I'd never heard of Barbara Woodhouse until I received this letter one day, and it read, I know you realize animal programs are popular because for the umpteenth time you are showing sheepdog trials. But from the dozens of people who write to me and say, when are you going to have a series on television training dogs your quick method, I feel you're missing out on something that would draw an enormous audience.
On this series, I propose to teach all you and the viewers my method of training dogs.
Change your heart.
Barbara Woodhouse, whether she knew it or not, was at the time the first front person with background. She wasn't a hired hairdo. She was somebody who knew about her subject, and she wasn't in the least self-conscious. Her delivery was absolutely naturalistic, and she didn't care whether the camera was there or not.
Hello, I'm Barbara Woodhouse.
Hello. You could see the magic. You can see the dog that's barking and spinning and confused. And within seconds, literally, the dog is looking up at her adoringly going, thank God, somebody who knows what they're doing.
And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Well, my dog was a scruffy mongrel type. No one knew what he was. Heinz 57, we called him.
Come on, Skipper, walkies. Come on. Wait.
There was an old lady with a pig.
Come on, Fifi, walkies. Come on. Come on, Fifi, come on.
I think there was a man with a boxer dog.
A little jerk, Mr. Boxer. Very good.
Young man with an Alsatian.
Don't let the Alsatian tread on the peak.
A man with a Doberman, I think.
Now, you're rather fidgety, Mr. Chambers. Can you sort of calm yourself?
I don't think we had any idea what we were letting ourselves in for.
He's slightly nervous, I believe, of people.
Pretty soon I thought she was mad.
If he's nervous with me on being jerked, I shall jerk him all the harder.
She was a very sure person. She was very secure in her thoughts and what she did, and she didn't suffer fools too gladly.
Well, today's lesson, of course, is the sit.
Sit. It's not sit. Sit.
To make a dog sit, first of all, you've got to learn the right signal and the right tone of voice. Now, watch. I say it's in action 2. Sit. Right up to the shoulder, very smartly.
Sit.
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 You don't say "ter," you say "t."
Sit.
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 No, that's very weak.
Sit.
Sit. Sit.
Sit. That's better.
Sit.
He's watching her on the telly. Oh, brilliant.
Sit.
And it became a thing you'd actually do to your mates. You know, you'd meet them in the pub and you'd go, sit.
Barbara Woodhouse believes in training the dog owner first, don't you, Barbara?
Oh, yes, always. And you.
I want you all to say together the ditty. Throw the hands forward, jerk and let go. Splendid.
My girl's mad at me.
When she gave a command, she meant it. It was very clear.
Make them sit when I say hold. Gosh, I shan't enroll you in the army.
Wait. The T words. You know, stop it. Leave it. She established those words.
Why can't she see?
Now tell him to wait. Wait.
I said wait without really pronouncing my T.
Once more, dear, you haven't really got that wait, that spit.
No, you've got to say wait, and you've got to spit it out.
Spit. I want to feel something.
So I went wait.
Wait. Oh, splendid. Shall we just go a little way back and do it again?
She wasn't a person that was used to for people saying no to her.
She was this almost canine Reich Marshal, would order these dogs about.
Sit. Stay.
But it was much more interesting to watch her order the owners about.
Line up very close, facing me, please, but not on that wet patch there.
Mr. Wilkins, face your dog.
You didn't give the sit signal quick enough, did you? Sit, bang, you see?
Don't let him be a leg cleaner. Face your dog, man.
Well, that wasn't a very creditable performance, was it?
She used to call the people by their dogs' names.
Shorten your lead, Mr. Doberman, so you can put it round your leg.
Mr. Snippets or Mr. Jumbo.
A little bit quicker, Mrs. Black Labrador.
She certainly didn't call me Miss Mongrel or anything like that.
Peter, would you like to please tell us who is the favourite lady on television?
And the winner is Barbara Woodhouse. Barbara Woodhouse.
She just became a massive celebrity and everybody knew her name.
Back again, you'll be getting sick of me, won't you?
Well, I enjoyed your program.
Did you? Oh,
Very
good.
nice indeed.
Oh, thank you.
She was almost more famous in America than she was here.
Sit.
Yes.
What? Stand straight up, you're a big man to him.
Walkies! Walkies! Oh, yes, of course I remember all that.
Now, stiff arm.
Down.
Down. You've really got to spit it out to
Well,
begin with.
I didn't have as much theatre training as you did, obviously.
Most of you already know that with a little love and compassion, any puppy will grow up to be a cuddly little bundle of joy.
I think Barbara typified what Americans think of the English.
Stuff and nonsense taught by charlatans and learned by bloody twits.
Proper shoes and proper skirt and her sweater and her lead and collar and get on with it. We're gonna go train dogs and have a grand time about it.
You raise a dog the same way you would raise a child, with simple or authoritative commands. Lay down!
You know, if it doesn't want to walk, you just give it a slight jerk.
Okay, here we go.
Call it a boiler suit, call it a cat suit, call it a jumpsuit. In 1980, the future arrived, and it came all in one.
1980 was the time of Sheena Easton and the inimitable Sheena Easton fashion of what could only be described as boiler suit.
He wakes and says hello, turns on the breakfast show. She fixes coffee while he takes a shower.
I had the best catsuit in the world. It was black, obviously, lycra.
I think I had some black ones, I had red.
Orange boiler suits.
Orange velour with a white plastic belt.
Pink boiler suits.
And terrible hair. Boy, did I look ugly in some of the stuff. I wore some terrible things. The fashion police could have got me. I would have been put away for life for most of the stuff I wore in the 80s.
I miss those. I was very keen on those jumpsuits, and I think that, funnily enough, they were very flattering for a girl.
This outfit is also from Kay's catalogue. The jumpsuit is in 100% cotton with elasticated waist and patch pockets.
Long sleeves, long feet, and a big belt that was sort of hanging off my hips.
It's suitable for both outdoor and indoor wear.
I used to wear lots of thick jewellery with it, sort of like, I used to have a big, thick pearl necklace, and I used to have it round my wrist, and huge earrings.
The clothes are comfortable and practical, but they're also colourful and well coordinated.
I was in a car crash when I was at Oxford, and the thing I really minded, I was quite seriously hurt, the thing I really minded is they had to cut me out of my jumpsuit, my Miss Selfridge jumpsuit. My mother said, you know, how are you? And I just said, you've got to phone up Miss Selfridge and go and get me this jumpsuit.
They were easy to move in and they were easy to get off. Jump it, that's why they were called jumpsuits, and jump back in. I won't be seen dead in one nip.
Well, let's have a look at some. Now, I mean, that looks like a joke to me. It's a boiler suit.
My mum had a boiler suit, and the boiler suit was a fashion lie because it's for people who didn't work on boilers or do anything that you would wear a boiler suit for.
Remarkably unfeminine. I mean, it's all straight and baggy.
So my mum certainly wasn't a mechanic. She didn't work in the boiler room of a ship.
Just add a stretchy belt. Instant shape.
It came out of people working in garages in an overall, but kind of making it glammy in electric blue and gold and then wearing it with a pair of high heels. You know, women could understand that, and it was the first case of playfulness really coming into fashion, I think.
You're in it, you're fully dressed, you haven't got to think what jump you're going to go with, what trousers. They're cute, they're useful. They were just right at the time.
I used to ask the question to my mum, how do you go to the toilet in a jumpsuit?
Oh my God, yeah, how did I go to the toilet? Because I didn't have a zip.
And she used to say with difficulty.
Getting your knickers caught in the zip.
Oh, I just wet myself.
Make sure you keep your foot on the door. Don't let anybody in.
I didn't take part in the boiler suit, but I am aware of it because I've seen it on Top of the Pops.
Sheena Easton.
Don't build my world.
back in the early 80s, we didn't have stylists. You were working your ass off to, like, you know, do whatever you had to do, and you had to go down the high street and pick out an outfit. I had no taste. Nowadays, I rely on stylists to look at me and go, are you going to go out in it? Well, go ahead. Go out in it, but I don't think so. Is a modern girl. Na, na, na. My voice sounds terrible.
This is becoming beyond a joke now.
In the 1950s, you had Esquire magazine. In the 1960s, Playboy. And in the 70s, Rolling Stone. Each defining its own generation. And in 1980, The Face magazine was launched. A little substance, a lot of style.
I was looking at the black and white world.
Before The Face, the world was in black and white, in many senses. It was still 1950s Pathé News.
The NME, the Melody Maker, the Sounds, you know, all the black and white music papers, they ruled the roost, really.
There were no magazines. There were Cosmo and a couple of women's magazines. No magazines for men. There were no magazines for music or youth fashion.
Too much too young.
I remember the first issue of The Face coming out May 1980, and I just thought it was the best magazine I'd ever seen, because there'd been nothing like that in England before. It was kind of glossy and colourful, but dealt with youth culture. Think about things like the specials and two-tone. It was dead important what you wore to go to those concerts. And even though people like NME covered the music really well, they didn't cover the clothes and the style side of it. And The Face did from the start.
The specials had gone to Paris, and we were just taking pictures, and Jerry came up from downstairs and looked up at the camera, and we took a picture, and for some strange reason, Nick put it on the cover. We tried to show you that there were other people that thought the same as you, and if you were out there, you know, buy the magazine.
I mean, style used to be something that French people did. It just wasn't, it wasn't in the English dictionary, I don't think. There was a big gap, you know, under STY, there wasn't anything.
Just finding early issues of it, it was amazing. It means I don't have to stay in the suburbs all my life. It means there is life beyond the suburbs.
He's edited the New Musical Express and then started a best-selling pop magazine, Smash Hits, and now is the proud father of what other magazines call the barometer of pop style. The magazine's called The Face, and his name is Nick Logan.
Nick Logan was brilliant at his job. He's the one who'd employed Burchell and Parsons on the NME. He had a great eye for young writers and photographers and stylists.
I'm trying to produce the best magazine that there's ever been.
We were out there, you know, going to see loads of bands, you know, going to loads of clubs, and he just pulled us in one day and said, listen, I want you to write for the magazine.
He said, I think your magazine's brilliant, but it would be even better if it had me, and I worked for the NME over there. Within about 6 months, I was like an editor, and this thing was being called the Bible.
If people read that as a barometer of style, then, you know, that's something beyond me. I mean, that suggests that our ideas are working.
I suppose in a way, you know, The Face was a style Bible.
It was a Bible written by 3 people sitting in an upstairs room saying, right, what should we make trendy this week?
This is the trendiest place in the trendiest city in a very trendy world.
There wasn't, you know, a magazine that could really do that mix of bands justice, where you could have Joy Division, The Jam, The Human League.
They were the first people to cover Spandau, the first people to put Boy George in there, the first people to put Sade anywhere in a magazine.
I remember Sade being on the cover before she'd even released a record. I remember Nena Cherry being on the front cover of The Face. I remember when Soul to Soul were on the front cover of The Face, and that feeling really exciting.
Time and time and time again, they got the things that were about to become internationally enormous. They got them just as they were being born, because they were written by the people who were giving birth to them.
I think if we hadn't had The Face, 1984 would have happened, and it would all have got doom and gloom, and everything would have shut down, and there would be no rest of the world.